Good morning everyone, it's Louise here from Eleanor Grace. As promised, another couple of herringbone stitches for you. We're going to do double herringbone stitch and firstly doubled herringbone stitch. These I found in a very old book, so they may have changed names since then, but I will show you both of these. So I've prepared in advance. I've done a row of herringbone stitch for each of these, so if you haven't seen the video about how to do herringbone stitch, do look at that one first, and then I'm going to start with this one and do what is called doubled herringbone stitch. Okay, so you've done your one colour. It's usually something that you do in two different colours, and I'm trying to do it in a bright colour because the weather here is very dull today, and so the light's not great. So I've got this acid yellow linen, and I'm going to go over the top of this peach coloured linen that I've got here, so hopefully you'll be able to see it okay. So this one is doubled herringbone stitch. So you've done your first line. Now if you're right-handed, you might work from right to left. It does depend. As I'm left-handed, obviously I'm going to work from left to right. Now the place to start off is just to the left of the first stitch, or obviously just to the right of the first stitch if you're working from this way. And what you want to get is another herringbone stitch overlaid over the top of this. Now with this particular stitch, it's not going to be an exact replica because you're going to be making it slightly smaller. So I will show you as we go along. So what you want to do is aim to come up, if you can imagine here where the cross is of the bottom, you want to come up just to the left of where that cross would be. So here obviously we haven't got the crosses, that's the start of our row. So I'm just going to come up to the left of that stitch, just a little bit further down, just about there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is do another herringbone stitch over the top to here. So I'm going to start the first stitch, and it's going to become a slightly squat version of the one I've already done. So if you can see that, that's the first bit of our stitch, and then we're going to come over to the left hand side. It is difficult to find your exact place. This is just playing around, so it's one of those stitches I think you'll get better at with time. So that's the first part of that stitch, and then obviously what we want to do is to come down here to the right of this cross. So if you imagine, we're going to from now on be coming to the left and the right of these crosses. This one is going to be slightly underneath, and this one is going to be slightly above the bottom line and the top line. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. So if I go in here, there we are. Now that one's a little bit wonky, but that's fine. It is slow stitching, so perfection is not a requirement here. I think this is a stitch that would look really good if you were actually to have drawn some lines, certainly for the initial stitches. I've just done this line of stitching by eye, but sometimes, as I think I said in the previous video, it can be good to do it you know, by guidance, so you've got little guidelines. So what I want to do then is come up underneath this to the right of the cross, so under there. So you're making a slightly different version, then you go backtrack on yourself like you do with herringbone stitch, and then again you go to the right and slightly above, and then you go to the left of the cross, slightly above the line, and there we go. So that is doubled herringbone stitch, and I'm just going to go along the line now. So as long as you are I don't think it matters if you're too perfect in where you're going in and out, as long as you follow the rough rules, which are to make it a slightly different shape than the previous one. You're not going to go obviously directly over the top of it, because that wouldn't come out with anything interesting. So I'm going to finish this line, and then just we can have a look at what it looks like. So I thought I had a nice long piece, but again I'm getting quite near to the end of this one. Let's just stretch this one out. So my tension here is not brilliant. I'm not really particularly pulling it tense, and this linen thread is actually quite nice to work with, but it doesn't work quite in the same way as cotton pearl. So I was trying it out for a change. Now I've got enough left, I think, just to do my last stitch, and at the end of the row you will come in obviously just above and to the right of your last stitch. I'm going to tie that off and we can have a little look at it. Okay, that's that. So that is doubled herringbone stitch. So it does look really quite effective. I think it would be really nice to have a bit more of a contrast colour underneath. So when we were looking at our colour palettes the other week, you know, something like blue and green, blue and yellow, or red and yellow. This coral is just a little bit light, but you can see the idea. It's quite a nice unusual stitch, but yeah, that is doubled herringbone stitch. And next we're going to move on to double herringbone stitch. So again, I've got a row here of the acid yellow, and what we're going to do here is a bit more of a formal version. So this is a double herringbone stitch, and what the idea is with this particular stitch is to actually do a carbon copy. So whereas this one is quite different, and you know, it's a lot more squat in shape than the previous one, and you know, these two stitches are very different. What we're now trying to do is completely and utterly emulate the herringbone stitch that you've already got in place there. So I've just got my thread ready. Now what you want to aim for, I haven't actually seen this stitch started off, but what I'm going to aim for is a sort of carbon copy opposite for the start of the line. So with this stitch, as I say, we're wanting to go the same height. We're wanting these actually to look the same, unlike this doubled herringbone stitch. So I'm going to start up here on a line with the starting stitch on my first line. And what I'm going to do is make another herringbone stitch. So this is going to be this part of it. So it's almost like a half herringbone stitch. And what you want to do is go in just to the left of your previous stitch. Or if you're coming from the right, obviously, just to the right of your previous stitch. And then what we want to do is make a replica stitch. So if I now look at I didn't have to worry about the size or shape of this particular one. If I look at the size of the cross here, I want to replicate that in terms of size here. The other thing with this stitch is that it's an up and over one. So you will see what I mean in a minute. Obviously I've come over here. So what that means is the next stitch you do will be under. So I'm going to go under there. The next stitch will be over, and then it will be under. So it's gives quite an interesting effect. It's almost like a shadow. I wouldn't be surprised how, you know, knowing how old my stitch book is, that it hasn't been renamed in the last 10 years or something. So that is about the same size as that. So we're wanting to make a real shadow of it, if you like. And then obviously we're going to go to the left of here again, about the same distance as the size of the stitch away from it. So you can see here that is just a couple of millimetres, so I've gone to a couple of millimetres to the left. So there's the first stitch. Now I've done that wrong. I just said it's best laid plans and all that. I said you going up and over, so we have to remember that we've got to go under. So it's going to chop off the end of this thread because it's getting a little bit knotty. And let's just do this one again. So if I've gone over here, I'm going to go under here. So I'm going to go under and go into that stitch. Now you could just, if you would rather, just pull the thread through and then stitch. That may be easier. So pull this through. More fingers and thumbs today. It sounds like Ella has come downstairs. She suddenly found my bed as a nice place to sleep, which she's never slept on. So she sounds like she's crashing and bashing around. So there we go. So that one, as you can see, went under. Funny enough, the contrasting colours looks really obvious here, whereas with this one, where it's covering it up, it doesn't look so obvious. So we're coming out again, and we're making again a stitch with the same width as this bit here, to the left of there. That's going over this side. The next stitch is going under. So I will remember that this time. So there we go, that's gone under. I'm just going to put that through. And it's a really quite nice looking stitch actually. You probably could again fiddle around with it till you get the absolute sort of perfect mirror image of or like a shadow image, where I think ideally you would end up with the second image being exactly in the middle. That would be perfection. But you know, as I always say, this is slow stitching and perfection is not a requirement here. I just like the idea. I've gone over again, haven't I? See, talking away. So I've got to go under. So yeah, perfection is not necessary here. It's we are just playing around. But that would be the ideal, really, would be, I think, to get it as an exact sort of shadow, so it's exactly in the middle of the previous row of stitching. But I'm just showing you here for a bit of fun. That one's over. This one is under. I will remember. That one's under. Let's put that through. And then back on ourselves. This one's over. And the last one will be under. And then we will stitch it off again at the end, so it's on a level with the last stitch there. So there we go. That is doubled and double herringbone stitch. So I hope you've enjoyed those and want to give them a go. You could play around with the placing of the stitches to get them exactly perfect if you want, but I'm not too worried about that. It's just a nice alternative stitch to do. So I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely afternoon. I'm off now to do a bit of stitching ready for my workshops, and I'm going to make some Christmas themed gift tags. This is going to be a workshop that I will be doing in person, but in just outside Warminster in Wiltshire. But if you want to join in, I will also be doing a version which is going to be available to buy for anyone who can't make it in person. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.